this shit last. Burning down to the wake-up call, to the sun grows cold, to the making it down. Judgment is what defied us, so deep out to ease of judgment. I'm cracking your past, you fight, why I can't run. It's not on your voice, once the gods we run.
Everything I did for her, she kept taking me for granted and showed no mercy in fading me away. But that time has come and gone, now everything we need is in our hands. So draw a line in the sand and repeat after me.
I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I made this shit last. Burning down to the wake-up call, to the sun grows cold, to the making it down. Judgment is what defied us, so deep out to ease of judgment. I'm cracking your past, you fight, why I can't run. It's not on your voice, once the gods we run.
Everything I did for her, she kept taking me for granted and showed no mercy in fading me away. But that time has come and gone, now everything we need is in our hands. So draw a line in the sand and repeat after me.
I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I made this shit last. Burning down to the wake-up call, to the sun grows cold, to the making it down. Judgment is what defied us, so deep out to ease of judgment. I'm cracking your past, you fight, why I can't run.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note. Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Fools are calling and I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you, why? I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat of down, cross the last just to take you. Don't leave the way, don't leave a say. Then I try with a shadow playing the rain. I feel like I'm fading.
And boom, just like that, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's party time with the Video Bros on this very special edition. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American friends. Hope you're enjoying Turkey Day. And hey, if you've got time to hang out with the Video Bros tonight, we got the drinks cracked. We're ready to party. Papa Smokes right beside me. In fact, hold on. I am doing this right. It's got to be done correctly. There's one way to do this. He is the man with the angelic voice, Mr. Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how you doing?
Whoa, yeah, I'm doing great, Munson. And I'd like to give a shout out to all my American wrestling people out there on American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just thinking about it makes me wish we could have two Thanksgivings because, quite frankly, I enjoy Turkey Day. It is one of my favorite times. Gotta love a good old cooked bird, some roasted potatoes, some good old vegetables on the side of that. Nothing beats that kind of meal there, Pop Smokes. How about you? What's your ideal Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist also, and I listened to a couple podcasts today. Everyone was talking about Thanksgiving dinner. It was making me so hungry, and I was remembering last month to the good old turkey dinner I had last time. What's your go-to meal, Munson?
Yeah, gotta love me. Of course, some turkey. Can't beat stuffing. The good homemade stuffing is always kick-ass. One thing I do miss, we used to do Yorkshire puddings because I do come from an English background. So Yorkshire puddings were a very big thing for me to have with turkey dinners, with roast Sundays, everything like that. Absolutely love them. I should get back into making them. But before we talk even more food and more fun, hey, it's Astrid Bizarro joining us in the chat. Astrid, how you doing? And happy Thanksgiving to you. And then we've, of course, got Melville Collins joining us in the chat saying, gentlemen. Again, I keep hearing this word gentlemen. I'm not sure. It's somebody else around here that I'm not seeing, Papa Smokes.
Maybe we have a guest on the other line here.
That's right. But you know what? We got the coolest people in the chat here tonight, including Auntie Wooji joining us again consecutively. Thank you, as always. Love and support from all of you in the chat. You guys are all amazing. And again, big happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends. And the reason we're talking all things Thanksgiving, Papa Smokes, because every single year it is the annual Fusion on Thanksgiving from our friends over at MLW. And they promised big things tonight. And damn it, did they deliver on big things. Only 2 matchups, but we got over an hour of action here tonight. That's why we're running a little bit late at this time because we went into a little bit of overtime on MLW with the 2 matches that they had and the stuff that had to unfold in the process. So let's get right into it. They started off with the Featherweight Championship match. We're talking about Brittany Blake getting her opportunity against Taya Valkyrie after a couple of weeks ago, making that attack on Taya, insisting that she gets a title match. Well, now she gets this opportunity. I think we've said it before when we saw Brittany Blake previously on MLW. Weren't overly impressed. The match wasn't exactly the greatest of quality. But, I thought differently this time around. I think I went in with lesser expectations of what to think of Brittany Blake, and she delivered better in this one. Again, she had great opponent in the form of Taya Valkyrie, a very experienced woman herself, a great champion. She's been great for MLW, putting eyes on the product. This match, definitely a lot stronger than I expected it to be, with a lot of back and forth for both women. We noticed that there was a spot we thought Taya was going to clean this one up quick when she hit the spear on Brittany, but Brittany managed to kick out of that, managed to fight back, getting a couple of submission holds in herself. all before Taya just ended up taking advantage, doing that move where she comes in behind with the foot on the back and stomps her face into the ground, and then just locking her up after that, making Brittany Blake submit. The champion retains. Your thoughts? Break this one down for us, Papa Smokes.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was a pretty okay match. It was better than the last time we saw Brittany Blake. We had commented that she's a fairly experienced wrestler, but there's just some lack of zazz, I think, for lack of a better term, that I've seen from Brittany Blake so far. But this is only the second match I've seen of hers. But not too bad. She came out as the heel, jump started this match, hit Taya Valkyrie from behind, went on a little kind of rule breakers run there, and with some choking and some stomping, just classic heel stuff. Valkyrie selling like the true baby face that she is. And then, back and forth a little bit. And Valkyrie looks great, man. This match looks a little bit funny because Brittany Blake is so petite, and Taya Valkyrie's got some good size muscles on her body.
Yeah.
But still, they carried it off quite well. Valkyrie's a veteran, and she knows how to sell stuff in the ring. And the other notable thing I thought that was funny in this match was that Brittany Blake had a big spot where she's got a submission hold that kind of comes from the legs being grapevine and then going to pull up on the neck or whatever, but she had a little trouble putting that hold on because of Taya's big fuzzy boots. That kind of got a chuckle out of me a little bit. It was almost like a defense to that hold, but not too bad. And anything, I'm looking for any matches to get this featherweights division going, because I think they've got some interest with some good talent, and let's do it. Let's get some more matches going. Let's get a couple feuds going and see what happens.
Yeah, and you know what? There is going to be growth to this because, again, they mentioned about the Super Series, which is going to be airing on MLW next Thursday night, and the match, well, 1 of 2 matches they announced, one that came later in the program, but the one they kept focusing on as the real seller is going to be to decide who's going to be the next opponent for Taya Valkyrie in a Luchadores elimination matchup. So this is going to feature 4 women all coming over, I believe, from AAA, and they're going to be going up in the MLW ring for that opportunity to be able to take on Taya for the MLW Featherweight Championship. Great. This is another opportunity for them to feature the featherweight division, bring in some new faces, see some talent we haven't seen. Again, I saw all 4 names. I didn't write them down because I was trying to make too many notes. But yes, these are 4 new names, at least to the 2 of us, that we're very excited about getting an opportunity to see, get their stuff in, see who's going to really click, see who's really going to be the standouts, and then find out who's going to be the next in line for that championship belt. Again, we know that obviously Taya Valkyrie, coming from that side of things, knows these women very well. She's going to have them scouted herself. And again, that's going to make for an interesting dynamic. Doesn't matter which one of the 4 ends up coming out victorious.
Yeah, this is cool. I like this. And just like in the men's division, bringing in some stars from Mexico, some masked wrestlers is a good idea, I think, and gets some new names out there, gives some fresh talent for the fans to watch. And I'm not sure what this 4-woman match will end up looking like in the ring, but anything is a step forward. Like I say, I just want to see more matches and some more female talent featured on this show. There is one of those names that I recognize of those luchadoras, and that is that La Hiedra, and she has kind of a black mask. She's a big, strong girl. I've seen somewhere one match and maybe something else of hers. Not too bad, I thought, and that's the one person I recognize out of that match. So I'm kind of excited for this.
I am too. It's going to be interesting to see that go down. So we're going to get that next week on MLW Fusion. It is MLW presents Super Series. So that one's going to be a very interesting night as well, too. Going to be jam-packed, full of action, I'm sure of that. And we're going to get to talking about the next match that they announced later on in this program. Up next, they did start to mention again that, hey, this is the Opera Cup has been missing. And hey, look at this. I dropped by this good dude's stream earlier on. Hey, had to come check out the podcast. Teddy the Bear, my man, thanks for stopping by. Oh, man, loved your show.
All right.
Great job. Teddy the Bear, if anyone wants to go check out his stream on Twitch, check it out. Dude plays some WWE 2K22, very interactive, awesome guy. Go follow him, sub him, whatever you need to do. Dude, thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. We're having a lot of fun here tonight, celebrating MLW Fusion on Thanksgiving. And again, a big happy Thanksgiving from the Video Bros to all our American friends. But yeah, the Opera Cup, it gets brought up again, Papa Smokes. And I've had my theories about this all this time. I do believe, despite the good nature they had to come on our shows, but the Beaumaye Fight Club have got to be suspect number one when it comes to the missing Opera Cup. It just seems that they're the ones with all the animosity and problems with the cup winner from last year, Davey Richards. They're the ones that had everything to gain. It seems like a lot of fingers being pointed towards, they're kind of looking a little flashier these days. Where's the money coming from? Stuff like that. Really seems that Beaumaye might not be the most innocent guys in the room when it comes down to it, but hopefully they ain't listening right now and they could skip past this part, because I like me some Beaumaye Fight Club, Papa Smokes. I don't want to disrespect dudes that were cool enough to be on our show.
Yeah, I can't believe you're accusing our boys, Mr. Thomas and Alex Kane, of such a heinous crime. Quite frankly, I'm embarrassed, but I think you might be onto something, Munson. You had, all jokes aside, you have been postulating this theory since a year ago when this first happened. So I think you might be right about it, and time will tell, of course.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that all unfolds, and we're going to get to hopefully soon, because damn it, I want another Opera Cup, Pop Smokes. We need another Opera Cup tournament at MLW, so somebody bring it back. I know Mr. Thomas, you mentioned, was tweeting out that asking if MLW was giving out a reward for finding the Opera Cup. I find that quite interesting. We got Astrid, I hear the Law and Order theme here. Da-dum. Yeah. That's what I should have played. Yeah, I could talk all about my theories about what's going on. I've had another theory recently as well, too, Papa Smokes, and that theory came true in this episode. We'll talk about that very shortly. Opera Cup, we're going down that road. Next week, Super Series. Then we go back to the videos that played regarding this the assailant that's been in MLW the last couple of weeks. First of all, attacks our good boy Bud Heavy. F you, whoever did that. First of all, don't touch Bud Heavy. God damn it, that guy's awesome. Last week, he attacks Calvin Tankman, and a card has been left behind each time that appears to be like an O and a V or something like that on it. The card has been left every single time, and tonight it got a little bit more interesting, because after this video package played, there seemed to be somebody in a black suit with rubber latex gloves on that was holding that card as if preparation was in place for another attack to go down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this card holding guy. Sorry, Munson. I thought you were gonna put something up on the screen, but no, I'm not too sure either. My thought is just vaguely that it might be Mods Kruger, but I don't know. Like I have no idea really, and they're not giving us much to go on yet. But I'm going to presume that next episode might start with a guy injured from the segment we saw tonight. So I don't know. What's you have a theory about that one?
I think I'm going down the same road as you with the Mods Kruger thing. I'm starting to think that whoever it was that handed the mask to Mods Kruger in that video package we saw at the start of the season could be the one putting the cards down. Mods could be the one dishing out the punishment. And we know poor Bud Heavy is at his tangles with with Big Mods Kruger there. I was trying to think, has Calvin Tankman come across Mods Kruger? I wasn't sure if those two had ever locked paths yet. Not sure that they had, but maybe Calvin Tankman just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Very possible there. The other theory you could have is maybe the judge has got something to do with it, because the judge has been acting a little weird this season so far. So who knows what the judge has been up to.
Yeah. And the other thing about Kruger too is that they've been talking about him but not showing him yet. So that he's involved, and they're booking him to do something, but we just haven't seen him yet. We saw that one vignette, I guess, where we didn't really get a very good look at him yet, but he's got the different mask this season for sure. But who knows? It sounds like the kind of kind of angle that Mods Kruger might go with, where he's just attacking people one by one, not even for any apparent reason or not to win matches, but because he's a psychopathic lunatic.
Yeah, it very well could be. I guess we will find out soon enough. We know that MLW does like to play the long game, and there's no harm there. We'll see how the story unfolds. But in the meantime and in between time, I would be fearful if I was anybody in that backstage locker room right now. Speaking of the Judge, EJ Nduka video package played, showing all the things that he has done in his career so far, all the things he did within the football leagues that he was part of, all the athletic training that he does, the workouts that he does, his brief time in the WWE training in the Performance Center before COVID caused cuts financially that had to have him leave the WWE. And hey, their loss is MLW's gain, because MLW picked up on EJ the Judge and Duca, and they have been pushing this guy to the moon. And you know what? His progression has been very, very cool to see, Pops, folks. We know he came in looking like a big dude, coming in like a bat out of hell. And there was a slow progression with EJ and Duca so far, but slowly it's coming together, and we're starting to notice it more this season. You can tell the Judge is in the crossfires to be a top guy in MLW.
For sure. And we noticed the big push as soon as they debuted EJ and Duca in the company. And the only real thing that's taking any time, I think, within Duca, he's a complete package. It's just his in-ring, I think, because we haven't even seen that much of it, right? Like, for all the matches he's had, he just does big spots that are set out for him kind of thing. Like, I'm not sure how quality of a full-on match he can have. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I don't know what it is yet, because we haven't seen a full-on one-on-one in-ring match with him yet. But I suspect that they're working on that quite heavily. And the rest of it looks great. I mean, the guy's look is absolutely awesome. He's quite a good talker on the mic. Like, he's got a charisma to him. And so far as a babyface, the fans have really taken to him, and he's getting a nice push within the company. So this all looks really good, and the accolades that he has behind him. This is one of various videos that we've seen about him, kind of personality profile type things, and they make him look like $1 million. And there's a lot of potential with this guy, and I think it's a good idea to push him as a main guy, because he looks like a top guy. He's got the entire aura and charisma of a main event wrestler, along with the size and the body and all that stuff. Yeah, I say go for it. Whatever deficiencies or weaknesses he might have, just cover it and mask it for now and keep working on it. You know, that's pretty much the story of all wrestlers, right? That's not particular to Nduka. It's a lot of guys are out there with a weakness or two, and they're just covering it up until they can improve. And you know, that's pretty much what we're all doing in life in a way too. So I think they got a good thing with Nduka. I think they should continue to push him as a top guy. And as we might see later in this program, it's looking like he's going to get a top level push.
He really is. It's going that direction, and I can't blame him. After that, we got an interview with Nduka. Basically, he was asked about being the most dominant man in MLW. Why is he the most dominant man? He's undefeated. He's got the most eliminations in a Battle Riot match, with the record that he came in with at his debut for MLW in that Battle Riot. On top of that, he says, but yeah, I'm not the one who's in the championship match at the top of the card tonight. And this is the start of EJ Nduka starting to show a little bit more of that greed, that wanting to get to the top, that fire to get to the top. It seems like it's no more about being the nice guy, shaking hands, smiling, being happy to be there. No, he's been grinding. He's been working. He wants that top belt, and he knows that maybe he's got to start cracking a few skulls in order to get there. And it's kind of interesting to see this side of Nduka finally starting to roll out.
Yeah, and we've seen over the past months, even before the summertime break that they took, that Nduka and Hammerstone were kind of playing nicey nice with each other and saying, yeah, I respect you, and you're a great wrestler and you're a buddy and everything, but hey, you should give me a title shot sometime. Yeah, man, you're my buddy. I'll give you a title shot. He's not getting anywhere with the nice guy approach, I don't think. And it feels like he's getting frustrated and getting tired of that.
Yeah, and he said he was going to be sitting ringside to be watching that title match later tonight. So we'll see how that plays out. Up next, we got the promo talking about the gates have been opened. That's Dragon Gate, of course. MLW going to be working with Dragon's Gate like they do with AAA and many other companies around the world, bringing in some of the talent. And the big one that they're making a push for, Shun Skywalker coming into MLW right away here. They showed the video package last week. They showed it again this week. Looks very sharp inside that ring. And then we got a bit of a promo from Shun Skywalker. And admittedly, 90% of the promo was spoken in his native tongue, so I did not understand a word of it. But then when he got to the point when he goes, young goat, and he looks right at the camera, gets in close, and says, that MLW middleweight championship is going to be mine. That's all he needed. That's all he needed. I liked this. This was well done.
Yeah, very effective promo. And like you say, almost completely in Japanese, but the English words that he knows stood out like a sore thumb. And I also popped when he said young goat. And I was like, oh yeah, we know who you're coming for, man. Only somebody with some gold around their waist, and Shun Skywalker wants it. This has the buzz that this could be some good stuff. And the middleweight division, we've long said, is one of the stronger parts of the card in MLW. They have a lot of talent that fits into that weight category, and a lot of really talented dudes. Most notably, of course, Myron, the young goat Reed, that holds that belt. But he looks like he's in for a deluge of Japanese superstars coming in from Dragon Gate, not to mention all the middleweight luchadors that stop by from AAA all the time. Never a shortage of opponents for Myron Reed.
Yeah, you bet. This is exciting because, again, we want to see more of the middleweight division. It's usually on fire, usually exciting. And Myron Reed makes it that way because he is that damn good inside that ring. And him versus Shun Skywalker, yeah, this feels like a big fight field because, again, from what they've shown of Shun Skywalker, they make this guy look out to be on that level. The way they're presenting him coming into this thing is he is on par with the top of the middleweight class in MLW. And that's what makes this exciting. And this what make this looks like possibly a main event spot for MLW Fusion in the coming weeks.
Yeah, and how cool, too. They've been talking about this alliance with Dragon Gate for some time now. Admittedly, I don't know much about the company Dragon Gate, but it looks like they've got some Japanese hotshots over there that would like to come over and get their name known a little bit more in America and on the American TV. So, I mean, here we go. Here's a chance for young Skywalker to come across and make some noise and have a classic against Myron Reed.
You bet. And you know what? If either one of these men wanted a little bit of advice, a little bit of a tip and stuff like that, I got a number they could call, Papa's folks. They could reach out to 1-800-OLD-MANSER and get the hot tips right there from Old Manser, Mance Warner. That's who was up next. He's standing outside. He's on a cell phone. He's talking about the beautiful truck that's sitting in front of him. Most of this stuff is like, okay, where's this going? And then he goes, I'm going to give you a hot tip. Come in here close. This is a freebie from Old Manser. Mons Kruger, you're a big boy. You got a mask. I'm going to beat your face in. I'm going to make you bleed. That's about all you get. If you want any more tips, call 1-800-OLD-MANSER. I mean, this is fun. I like Mance Warner so far. I like the presentation of him. It's a guy who's looking for a fight, and he ain't afraid to go up against the biggest dog in the yard.
Yeah, the thing I like about Mance Warner, too, is that he cuts a serious promo, and he is a good promo, but it's a little bit of comedy at the same time because he's a wacky guy. It's not making fun of the business. It's not making light of his matches or his opponents or anything like that. He's just a funny dude, and his shtick is funny as Mance Warner. And I like these promos. He's the kind of guy that you could just put a mic in front of, and he looks like he could go for 15 minutes, 25 minutes. He would just keep talking. I think he's got that gift of gab, and it's usually pretty amusing and pretty funny. So I like this, and I fear to see some of these matches coming up between Vance Warner and Mads Kruger because they're going to be violent as all hell.
Oh, of course they will be. And, you know, thinking about this too, Vance Warner's presentation almost seems like what they were trying to go for with Gnarls Garvin in his short run with the company. But it seems like Mance just is a little bit more of the flavor of what MLW likes to present than what Gnarls was providing. And I think that's why they're happy to have him back. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. It almost seems like Gnarls Garvin was supposed to fill that void while Mance Warner wasn't there. Now that they got Mance Warner, they didn't really have the need or room for Gnarls Garvin at this time.
Yeah, I was always just, that's probably a good theory. I was always just wishing that Gnarls Garvin Bud Heavy tag team had worked out. That I had high hopes for that, but didn't gain much traction.
That would have been fantastic. But then again, anything involving Bud Heavy is absolutely fantastic. You know what else is fantastic, Papa Smokes? It's fantastic when we get to this point of the show because we are there at the main event of the evening. This match is scheduled for one fall and is for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship of the World. Falls count anywhere. Hammerstone defending against Richard Holiday. Again, part 2 of this feud unfolding before us. EJ and Duca at ringside. These two allowed to do whatever they want. Surprisingly enough, when this one started off, Holiday kind of ducking under the ropes and using the ropes to have referee Frank Gastineau give a bit of a rope break and pull Hammer away. I'm thinking, hold on here. If this is falls count anywhere, I'm pretty sure that the rope break isn't really relevant at this point. But okay, whatever. We'll give that as a pass because it is kind of splitting hairs. We know that Richard Holiday, fantastic. Hammerstone, fantastic. Hammer still selling the injured ribs from when Holiday attacked him with the chair a couple weeks ago at the Battle Riot. So there was a lot of the back and forth where Hammer couldn't get his moveset in because of the damage that had been done to him. But once that adrenaline started kicking up into high gear, it's like the pain went away, and then all of a sudden Hammer's getting into this thing. Great back and forth with him and Holiday. Only went backstage a couple times, once to the rooftop area where we clearly see where they've been filming all of Cesar Duran's promos while they've been in New York City. Very posh, as you were saying up there on that rooftop. We were talking about how it would be a great place for the video bros to rent and have a party if we ever went down to New York City. I think that would be one hell of a time party with the MLW crew after a Battle Riot down there. I like the sounds of it. But yeah, it spills to the rooftop, comes back down into the ring. Then we got, I think, a fair period of time where there was a solid wrestling match going on inside the ring. No interference, no weapons, nothing of the sort. They did go backstage one more time, then came back into the ring to finish this off with a wrestling match. Both guys getting their licks in. Holiday hit that amazing market crash, the 2008 from the middle rope. I thought that was going to finish this off. I thought the new champion was about to be crowned. Not the case. Hammer manages to fight back, ends up causing Holiday to submit. Surprised that both matches ended submission on this card here tonight, but Hammerstone retains. We'll get to the aftermath in a minute. Pop Smoke, break down this World Heavyweight title fight. Your thoughts on Hammer versus Holiday?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good match. I wasn't completely sure why they used the stipulation for it because there wasn't a whole ton of outside the ring brawling other than the little trip up to the rooftop cafe there and back down. But at any rate, I still think this was a pretty good match. It wasn't as good as Holiday Hammerstone #1 because that was more of a match, more of an actual match inside the ring without so much silliness and guys putting their hand on the back of the other guy's head and just walking them down a long hallway and stuff like that I always think is not only kind of boring but a little bit unbelievable and all that too. But this didn't look too bad. But once they got back to the ring, I liked this match a lot more because frankly, I don't think these guys really need a gimmick match. Like, they're both quite good, very skilled wrestlers. I just think Holiday's a classic heel. He always gets heat from the audience. He knows how to do his timing. He knows how to do a nice slow heel pace where he can do a couple moves on Hammerstone's injured ribs, and then go over to the ropes and start catcalling the crowd and starting little chants amongst the crowd and all kinds of excellent heel stuff. Yeah, probably the big moment of the match for me was also that 2008 market crash, kind of spinning suplex off the second rope. I've never seen that delivered off the ropes before. Wow, what a huge bump that was. And easily could have been the finish of the match too if it was going the other way on this night. But Hammerstone ultimately getting the victory. Didn't use his nightmare pendulum, perhaps because of the impact it would have given to his injured ribs. So went instead tonight with the human torture rack, a very cool and very fitting hold for Hammerstone to use because of his great power. We're used to him looking like Hulk Hogan in all of his matches. He looked like Lex Luger at the end there, just breaking Holiday's back in half. That the submission to that came very quickly too. He didn't waste any time in giving the verbal submission there. So pretty cool match and elevated Hammerstone. This one's probably going to put Holiday in the back seat for a while now. He's had 2 title shots. Now there are people such as Nduka asking for one. Now there's Jacob Fatu with a guaranteed title shot after winning Battle Riot. So, yeah, Richard Holiday's had his little run here, and he'll have to go to the back of the line now.
But at the same time, keep in mind, he still holds one of the very few victories over one Davey Richards, the national openweight champion. So Richard Holiday might be done in the world title picture, but that national openweight championship might be wide open to a guy like Richard Holiday.
That's a good thought, and think of the program those two guys could have. That could be money all winter.
That was a solid match, too, when they locked up the first time. So, again, no problem with that. Then after this match, well, again, they had mentioned about next week's Super Series. They kept saying Bandito versus question mark. We know if you've ever been on social media, MLW, unfortunately, has given a few things away. And we knew one of the bookings that was coming up for Bandito. And I was trying to remember, was there another one that happened before it? And we kind of started talking about because we knew him versus Hammer for the belt was coming up. And then they announced it right after the match finishes. Next week on Super Series, another MLW World Heavyweight Championship match. Alexander Hammerstone going to be taking on Bandito. So, again, we've seen this match one other time previously. Bandito came on over. Interesting to see now with the belt on the line between these two, how this one unfolds next week, Pop Smokes.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool during the match against Holiday. They kept saying, kept reminding us that this match tonight against Holiday was Hammerstone's 5th title defense. So already over however long he's held this belt, he's had 5 title defenses. And then now number 6 next week. Injured ribs or not, he better get some rest after Richard Holiday was kicking him in those injured ribs, because now he's got a very skilled luchador on the plate. Bandito, who's a little bit getting hot in the wrestling world because he's been doing some other work with a big company as well. And it's good that this will all help MLW get some eyes on their product as well.
Yeah, it really will. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds next week. But then it was not all said and done from there, Pop Smokes. Hammer gets interviewed at the top of the ramp afterwards, asking what's next. And Hammer comes out saying, I've been having this problem with Richard Holiday and the Dynasty for so long that I haven't even had time to think about what's next. So he starts to get into what he thinks could be next for him when he's interrupted by the judge, EJ Nduka. Nduka comes up, says that Holiday wasn't even in the same league as Hammerstone. The Hammer was the man. That's why Hammer's the champion. But he said that he wants that match. He wants that championship match. He asks for it from Hammer. Hey, look, man, it'll be Titan versus Titan for the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. What do you say to that? Hammer accepts. He already is accepting a world championship title defense against EJ Nduka before he even locks horns with Bandito next week. We'll see if he comes out of that one first, but the judge is going to get a title opportunity. But, oh, wait, that's not all. As we think we're about to go off the air, suddenly EJ Nduka uses his tag team championship belt to smash the back of Hammer's head, busts open the back of Hammer's the trap area here, in the back. So that's busted open, and Duca goes full heel. I said it a couple weeks ago, Pop Smokes, at the Battle Riot. I had a feeling this season we were going to lean towards Duca going heel, and here it is. He busts up Hammer, brings him down to the ring, throws some pretty heavy moves at him, some knees to the ribs, pulls out the table, and 2 spots on top of the table because it didn't wreck it the first time. So he gave Hammer a thunderous drop the second time through and stands tall over top of him. Hammer has got not a damn friend in that locker room right now, it seems.
Yeah, and the world champion never does, right? People might pretend to be friends to your face, but there's always something they want from you, and they always want to see you weak so that they can try and get it off you. And so this episode of Fusion was pretty cool in the way that they pumped Duca as though they didn't know what was going to happen later on in the episode, but pumped him babyface style, gave all his accolades, gave all his background, what a hard worker this guy is, and then the big heel turn at the end. So he's built up very strongly over the past weeks and this episode, and then they have the heel turn and vicious attack at the end. And really, just like we were saying before, I can't really blame Duca for making this attack, even though Hammerstone had given him sort of a handshake deal on giving him a title shot. We've heard Hammer tell other people before, hey, Caesar makes my matches, but he had given him a goodwill handshake deal for a title match. But Duca, that ain't enough for him because he's tried the nice guy route. Even before the summertime break, he was making nice with Hammerstone. They had a tag match together. They were being buddy and everything, but this isn't getting Duca anywhere with his world title aspirations. So, yeah, he got the handshake, he got the promise, but that ain't enough. You gotta hurt him, take him up into the ring, beat him up, gave him the spine buster through the table. Second time they went through anyway, and now you got an angry Hammerstone and probably an imminent title match.
An imminent title match, but again, will Hammer be the one with that championship? Because now that he has taken this absolute shit kicking from the EJ, the Judge, and Duca, I'm thinking that he is going to be in very, very bad shape going into this match against Bandito. And we know Bandito is no slouch in the ring. This guy is a great professional, can really take it to Hammerstone, and could be a viable threat when Hammer's at his absolute best. Now, going into this now, looking the way he does, is Hammer at a massive disadvantage next week in this title defense?
Huge question, and it really does sound like he is. What will they do with Hammerstone? What's his condition? What's his outlook towards MLW right now? We don't really know. All we know is that he's got a tough series of title defenses and other guys, other strong wrestlers waiting in the wings. He's got Bandito next week. He's got Duca at some point in the future, not to mention Jacob Fatu is coming for him and wants that belt back. Hammerstone's got a crosshairs in the middle of his back, just like every champion of every big company. And it takes a very, very strong man to remain on top with all those guys trying to knock you off.
It really does. So, yeah, things not looking great for Hammer, but that will get played out next week on MLW Super Series. We're looking forward to watching that. Pop Smokes, we're kind of getting to the top of the hour. We're going to wrap things up here very shortly. But before we get to where people can find us, I want to play a quick little video because I believe next week, I'll have to confirm it with Mr. Carl Carafel, but we might be bringing you guys the debut, or at least the season 2, episode 1 debut of a little show called Beats and Beatdowns. And I want to play the trailer video so you know what's coming up this season with myself and Carl Carafel.
Trendsetters, the school of hard knocks and that attitude era. Yeah, I just wanted to be one of the best. Holding the mic as I'm yelling out D Generation X. I will remember
Oh, yeah, that's season 2 of Beats and Beatdowns is going to be coming to you guys. It's going to be available on our local establishment, on Turnbuckle Studios, and for the first time ever, also on the Video Bros Network. Very excited to be able to work in conjunction with Turnbuckle Studios on this Papa Smokes and bring that content over as well to our channel that's been running now 6 unbelievable years already.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Beats and Beatdowns. I've listened to you guys talk about some wrestling and music in the past, and I need some more episodes because I'm all caught up.
It's going to be a good one. And again, when that season finale hits, it's going to be a live aspect. And we got a very special guest that's going to be joining us for the season finale. We're very, very pumped. It's going to be a fantastic season. Can't wait to bring that to you guys. And that might be coming at you next week. I will just confirm that, but it could be next Wednesday that you're seeing season 2, episode 1 of Beats and Beatdowns. But Papa Smokes, we're getting to that end of the show. And you know, that means it's time to let everybody know where they can find good old Papa Smokes if they want to reach out to you.
All right, I'm not on too much social media, but I am on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland for only $8 a month. I am at smokes_papa, and I'm on Twitch at papa_smokes_.
That's where you can find the man, the myth, the legend right there. Again, you can check out that ticker below if you're looking to find me. I'm also on this new Hive Social. It's out there. I'm on there at Bobby Muncie. You can find me on there as well, too. Always going to be previewing what's coming up here with our local establishment and with the content that we do here on the Video Bros Network as well. You can also find me Sunday with my man, the Brunch Buster brother, Mr. Chris Parrish, for another episode of Bustin' Out as we go off the rails like we always do for each and every one of you. Make sure that you're staying tuned to watch our good friends over at Astrid Pizarro's Twitch channel. Making an Impact is the name of the show because that's what they do. They make an impact, and they're going to be talking all things Impact Wrestling. I think tonight being a whole bunch of different stuff based around Impact Wrestling and Thanksgiving night. So again, go join them over there. If you are watching via Twitch on our local establishment, we are going to be sending you directly to their channel with a raid as of a couple of minutes from now. If you are watching on my personal Twitch channel or you are watching over at the Video Bros Network, then just stay tuned with us for one more moment and you will be played with our outro here very, very shortly. But we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight. We had a fantastic time, as always, partying with you, talking all things MLW on a Thursday night. And we can't wait until next Thursday when we can join you one more time to give you MLW Presents Super Series. So until then, everybody, thank you. Have a good night, and we'll see you next Thursday. Take care, everybody.